Hello and welcome to Broken Entertainment. Just another quick video here. I've been watching some more of the Rise of Skywalker stuff, and I thought about doing this video a while ago and just kind of put it on hold, and I'm coming back around to it here. When they released the initial trailer and we got that shot of C-3PO looking out at, I believe it was Finn, Rey, probably Poe. And he seemed pensive, and they asked him what was going on. He said he was just taking one last look at his friends. So, that is a beautiful example of what not to do with writing. Specifically, they're going for a moment, right? They're going for the sad moment where everyone gets sad and has strong emotional feelings for these characters, and oh no, this character may die. I need to go find out what's going to happen in the movie. But there's nothing there. There's just no connection. And the reason for that, and the mistake that I'm addressing in writing, you have to earn it. You have to earn your moments. Okay? Um, in this case, they could have done it with the original cast because after 3 movies, C-3PO is a major character. He has strong emotional ties to the characters that he would have been calling friends at that time, and it would have worked. It would have been great because you know his bond to those characters, and his characters would have been those other characters would have been deeply saddened, and it would have made a lot of sense. It would have struck a deep emotional chord with the audience because of that emotional connection between the characters. In Rise of Skywalker, that doesn't exist. C-3PO was completely ignored for 2 movies. In Force Awakens, he shows up briefly for what amounts to a cameo, makes a stupid one-liner about, I bet you don't recognize me because of the red arm, and that's it. And I don't even remember if he was in um, that crap second movie, the Last Jedi. I don't even remember if he was in it. I think he may have been in the background at some point. I think, but that was about it. He doesn't know these characters. I don't even think he's really met Rey or Finn or Poe. He's met Chewie obviously, and there's an emotional connection there, but they're trying to play off of your connection to this character as a fan of the original trilogy and make you feel something that just isn't there because you can't just feel it for that. You feel it because, or you would feel it because you'd feel the other character's sadness and the loss of this great companion between the two groups, the great companionship and friendship ending in tragedy. But it's not there. They don't earn it. They don't build up to it. If he had been involved in The Force Awakens, if he had been involved in The Last Jedi and met Finn and Rey and Poe and made close associations with them and become good friends, yeah, it would have that poignant moment of loss of this, these friends are going to lose their friend. And he's looking at them tragically like, oh no, this is the last time I'll ever see them. But that it's not there. They didn't build up to it at all. And that's what you have to do as a writer if you want to reach that tragic moment, right? You can't just throw it out there. You have to build up to it. You have to get to it. You have to draw the reader in, make them really like the characters, make them feel the emotional bonds between the characters. And just using this example of a character's friend, tragically about to lose their life, which is what it's setting up in the trailer. Who knows what happens in the movie, but that's what we're seeing. If you want to build to that, if you want to have that impact where your reader feels the emotional feelings that the characters have, you have to make the reader feel the same way for this character. You have to connect them to this character. You have to connect the other characters to this character. That requires time. That requires in-depth writing. So you can do it. You don't have to do it over a trilogy, of course. You can do it in a single book, but it's not like you can't just take this character and in the first act just kill him off. I mean, you can, but no one's gonna care, and they're not gonna sense why. Essentially, what Disney is doing here is saying, "Hey, C-3PO is friends with him, and it happened off screen sometime, and you didn't see it." You can't do that, otherwise no one's gonna really care. So if you want them to care, if you want to have this tragic, poignant moment between friends, you have to show that friendship. You have to build it. Another good example that I like to use for this a lot, it's not a friendship thing, but in Star Trek Beyond, they destroy the Enterprise, right? And again, there's nothing there. There is no emotional connection for the audience whatsoever. Unlike when they did it in the original movies in Star Trek 3. When they blow up the Enterprise, the characters are deeply saddened on screen. The audience is like, oh my god, they actually did it. And then sad because over the course of the series and over the course of the movies, you get to know the Enterprise and the connection between the crew and the Enterprise and their love for that ship. The Enterprise is a character in its own right by that point and has done some really heroic, amazing things as a ship. In Star Trek Beyond, we've had 2 movies, but what does the Enterprise do? It's not a character, it's a moving set piece. There's no emotional connection between the characters and the ship at all. And even when the Enterprise gets destroyed in Star Trek Beyond, no one seems upset by it. They're just like, oh darn. And Kirk just seems kind of like, yeah, I can't even command ships, because he's being all edgy and stupid. And just so you know, I actually enjoyed that movie, but this part of it really bothered me because it was just dumb. And it was just playing for effect with the audience without actually earning it. So the end result is the audience feels nothing. The ship's destroyed, and you're like, okay, moving on. And that's kind of how the movie treated it, too. Whereas in Star Trek 3, you see that horrible scene of the crew standing there and Kirk going, my God, what have I done? And you see the Enterprise burning up in the atmosphere overhead. That was really effective. And it was effective because they built to that point. Now, again, Star Trek Beyond, if they wanted to do that, they didn't have to have a 3-year-long TV show and, another 2 decades of Star Trek to get there. But they had to do something, and they didn't. It was just thrown away. It was just spectacle over substance, like I said in my previous video, because it didn't matter. It was just flash, look at this, shiny, be sad, but since the Enterprise spent 2 movies getting its ass handed to it and never did anything heroic and never had any connection with the crew, it's just kind of like, it's like when you're in an action, like if you're watching Terminator 2 and they crash a vehicle, you're like, you don't really care. They crash a vehicle, they get in another one. Same thing happens in Star Trek Beyond. So just keep a lookout when you're writing. When you want to have those big moments, make sure you spend time building connections, building the reader's connection to, if we're using a character death, to the character. Build up to it, and then you'll get a great payoff. Otherwise, it's cheap, it has no impact, and people will forget about it unless they're just going to complain about it, like I am with Star Trek Beyond. So, keep these things in mind. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.